Welcome to Inspitalk podcast. Today we have an inspiring leader with us who has not only participated in Youth Leadership Academy but also represented at COP29. Please join me in welcoming Tomoko Ikuta. Thank you for being here.
Hello everyone. Thank you so much, Gun, for having me here, and I can't wait to share my journey with you all today.
Let's start with your journey. What inspired you to join Youth Leadership Academy and become an ambassador for climate action?
Thank you for the question. So I think what really inspired me first was when I was 13. I think back then I was in grade 7, and our school had a school field trip where we were able to do services like in many parts of like the world, including Thailand. And I went on a trip, and it was about mostly cleaning up coastal lines. So we were able to go to beaches and then pick up some trashes that were laying around on the beach. And back then I think I was quite young, so I didn't really realize like the impact, and I wasn't aware of like what the trash represented or what that meant for the climate. But we were just told, like I just only understood that I had to help them clean up the beaches because it was better for the environment. And later, while I was watching the news with my mom, I saw a news and discovered that it was because of climate change. Like this cause is part of human activity and is causing the climate change and global warming. And so I think that was when I began to involve myself further in activities related to the environment and climate change.
How has your experience in the YLA program shaped your approach to leadership, particularly in climate action and climate resilience?
So I think in the YLA program, I was able to network with a lot of other like-minded young people, and they were not all particularly from the same country as me, because as YLA Thailand, we have 5 people in our team, as you know, as you may know, but there's also many other youths from other countries, and I think with that we also were able to share ideas, exchange perspectives, as well as the YLA provided me with workshops on focusing more on issues and how to develop an advocacy project that would help with the issue of climate change in relation to gender equality. And so with those workshops, I think I was able to develop a more focused and tailored messages of what advocacy I would like the message to share with people. And specifically for my role as a young female leader, I think that because there's not much climate change or environmental related education in my school, and I think that being able to be a part of the YLA has really enhanced my knowledge in that area.
That's very nice to hear. Now, if you could describe Youth Leadership Program in just 3 words, what would they be and why?
That's a very interesting question. I think the first word that I would pick from my personal experience with the YLA would be empowering, because I think with all of the young people that are involved in the program and how we uplift each other even in like the hardest of times. So I think empowering very nicely describes this program. The second word I think would be collaborative, because not only do we work with each other, with the members that are part of our country team, but we are also able to share our ideas and work with other youths from other countries by asking them questions, or if there's any particular like area of expertise that other youths might be more familiar with, then we work together and I can ask questions from them and they would help me. And lastly would be transformative because after this project, we are given like a seed grant after completing all the workshops, and we're able to work together to develop an advocacy project. So I think if everything goes well and we receive good results, then our project can be transformative to mitigate the climate crisis.
Wow, empowering, collaborative, and transformative. Really powerful words. As the founder of Ecolution, can you share us your key projects and how do young people play a central role in your work?
Right, so Ecolution is a youth-led nonprofit organization that I founded in 2021, I think. And ever since then, the first kind of location where I established the organization was at my school. And as the title of the organization kind of suggests, is that it's youth-led. So at my school, me and a group of friends, we formed a kind of a leadership committee where we are the officers of the club and we're able to delegate tasks and kind of oversee the main events and activities that the club will be implementing throughout each of the semester. And I think how it tackles plastic pollution and climate change is, for the key initiatives, one of our main projects that we do annually, I guess you could say, is a cleanup trip where we gather around 30 students from our school and we go to the Klong Lat Prao to pick up trash, and it's kind of like a contest where we try to see whichever team, because we split into two teams, and whichever team is able to pick up the most trash, and regardless of which team wins, we're contributing to cleaning the waterways. So, and other, we don't really have any like specific events that we do for each semester. It depends on what our club members want to do, but other things include fundraising events, mini research projects, and also like other fun events that relate to the school's current kind of tradition. Like we also have service week where we try to fundraise and promote our club as much as possible during that week. And yeah, I think for youth's role, it's because it's youth-led. I think that's what makes it special, because we don't have adults kind of governing what we do. Rather, they kind of stay on the sidelines as like a guidance or someone we can turn to if we have like an issue or problem. So yeah.
Wow, that's really nice to hear how you and young older friends of yours help the environment. You were selected as official delegate of COP29, representing Youth Academy Leadership and Pan International. How was the experience?
It was great, amazing actually. I was able to join many side events, so there were like many things there, but a few of the things that I joined was the side events, and there were also a couple of negotiations that I listened in on, and I think I saw like protests and like some press conferences as well, where like I saw other young people or just other people in general were gathered protesting for what they believe to make a change. And also, not only that, I was able to be a guest speaker and a panelist at a couple of other events at COP. I also participated in an event at the Thailand Pavilion, which was a fashion show showcasing the different sustainable textiles, Thai textiles that we have. And I think that was really fun. It was unique because I also participated at COP27 2 years back, and I didn't get to, like, it was pretty much like formal, but I think this year there were more fun events like the fashion show that I was able to join, and I think that was really awesome. It was amazing. I met a lot of other youth delegates and other like friendly people at COP29 as well. Yeah, it was amazing. It was really fun.
Wow, what a really unique experience. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
During COP29, you attended the Young Go Side event at the Children and Youth Pavilion. What were the most powerful insights?
So at the Children and Youth Pavilion, like of course judging from the name, their sessions were mainly focused on children and youth, and while I was joined in that session, there were many guest speakers that are young people from many different countries, and of course that means they come from different backgrounds and different age ranges as well, but they're all still young people. But I think what really stood out to me was the fact that each of their projects were so impactful yet so different at the same time, because one of the ones that I remember listening about is I think they worked with Climate Live, which is kind of their project utilizes music and kind of connects music with climate change solutions, and I think that that's a really fun and creative way. I also was able to gain new insights about the climate change situation in Pakistan, because living in Thailand, I'm not really aware of how climate or the environment is impacted by global warming and climate change in other countries. And I think Pakistan being a country in South Asia, and we're in Southeast Asia, that's kind of a closely enough related country, and I think that it's important for me to also be aware of the other situations around me.
That's great that you get to experience climate change at the other country as well. What do young people play in creating sustainable solution to the climate crisis?
Yeah, I think like young people is a crucial part of climate solutions, as we all should be involved in. But I think that one thing that really highlights the role of young people is that I think being part of the new generation, we have many new and fresh ideas that can lead to innovative solutions, because like people from, I guess, the older generation than us, they might have like kind of more traditional, more conservative ideas, but I think youth bring another perspective to the table and are able to add in kind of insights and provide them with valuable perspectives that maybe the older people might not have thought of or might not be aware of, and I think that all of us can help build an innovative solution that can tackle climate change together.
You participate in a roundtable discussion at Civil Society Climate Action Collaboration to support vulnerable people. What were some of the challenges identified during the discussion?
I think that when looking at civil society efforts in aligning with the needs of vulnerable populations, I think that the first kind of obstacle that was identified was the lack of resources, because for civil society, in order to help the issues that vulnerable populations face, we need adequate funding and materials such as like the required or necessary equipment, and I think that sometimes can be a challenge in order to provide, because that kind of connects with like another like obstacle where the civil society doesn't have a full understanding of the problems that the vulnerable people face, and I think that kind of hinders the ability for the civil society to kind of understand what they're going through and find the proper resources to give to them. And I think another is coordination like mechanisms, because civil society has like their own responsibilities that are not part of helping the vulnerable populations. So when they try to do that, they need to be able to coordinate effectively, and I think sometimes that can be hard to do. And some proposed solutions that we also covered is to do more capacity building kind of activities and projects to foster a better relationship and connection, as well as understanding between the two groups. And for coordination, we didn't necessarily identify like a specific way, but I think for the future, for the civil society to focus more on improved mechanisms and kind of more focused, more vulnerable populations related mechanisms would be very helpful.
At COP29, you had an opportunity to discuss Advancing Gender Equality and Youth Leadership in Climate Adaptation with the UK Minister for Development and Minister for Women and Equalities. From your perspective, what are the most pressing gender-specific challenges in climate adaptation that need immediate attention?
Obviously, I think there's more than one, but one that I truly want to highlight is the access to resources. This entails like money, like the funding to and materials required for specific projects. And this is because, as mentioned kind of before already in the previous question, with the issue of funding, I think there's not enough like funding and adequate resources to fully support the projects by the young people, because obviously I think money is essential in carrying out different projects and activities in order to tackle climate change and mobilize youth mobilization. And secondly is the inclusion, the insufficient inclusion in decision-making processes, because right now I think that not enough women are involved in the decision-making table, and that they're still sort of isolated, I guess, because as we may know, that many of our world leaders today the majority of them are still men, and so I think that there needs to be more promotion of women inclusion. And lastly is that I think that there's not enough gender sensitive policies that sufficiently cover like every gender. There are women and girls, but there's also like men and other genders as well. And I think that because of this, it is statistically proven that women and girls experience climate change disproportionately to men. So by not having enough policies that address this would be an issue. And I think that all of these three are kind of primary to what needs to be addressed.
Lastly, what message or key takeaway from COP29 that you would like to share to other young people that want to get involved in climate action?
So to all of you viewers who are watching and want to be a part of this climate action and mobilization, I just wanted to share that from my experience at COP29, there's actually many like young people, like it's not just me. And I think that that's a big improvement from the previous COPs, because I think previously there has been mainly adults and not really much of the younger population that's represented. But I think this year there's many, and they're really wonderful. And I think everyone deserves to be given an opportunity to join something like this big, like at this global level. But I know that it might seem like kind of far-reached right now, but I don't think that that's an important thing to focus on. Rather, because for me myself, I also started small. Like, you don't have to be like well known in the first place or achieve something like so big since the beginning. You can just start off with like a passion, like I did, and kind of begin to be involved in like minor activities first before you kind of slowly expand and gradually join more like international levels or even like national levels. That's a good start for being involved in climate action.
That's really amazing. Thank you, Tomoko, for sharing your experiences and insight with us. It's truly inspiring to see how young leaders like you are making a difference. Thank you again for joining us, and thank you to our listener for tuning in. Until next time, let's continue to take action for a sustainable future.
And thank you to you too. It was such a pleasure.